Sunday work and things like that. So it's going to be more expensive than if you just let somebody run, 400 feet of water main. But important precautions in place to make sure that we don't end up in a bad situation, losing that 10-inch for a long period of time.
One question I wanted, you said it was below the threshold for the bidding process. That's based on population of the community or the job itself, or?
Yeah, that's why I put it in the packet, is because it's kind of an interesting explanation. But if you look at it, the league has a definition on what can and cannot be included as far as bid thresholds. And so it works off of horizontal infrastructure,
Sure.
vertical infrastructure, and then cities of 50,000 or less or 50,000 or more is where the thresholds are. They're all set by the state. The DOT adjusts them every year. And we normally do everything under bid. It's just under extreme situations. And honestly, a lot of times it's pretty hard to have a project that's only $49,000. That's a pretty small project. So most everything we do is under bid. It's just this is one situation where it's important to just keep this project moving as quickly as possible and not lose any more days than we absolutely have to. So.
And it's essentially under bid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get three prices and, go with the low price.
You're just not
But the-
having the formal process of
Right.
putting it out to notification. So you're not following all the other state requirements, but you are quoting.
Right.
Well, it may not necessarily, well, it could depend on a time
Yeah.
issue too.
Right,
So one
exactly.
company can do it quickly, it may
Mhm.
affect how we accept the bids or something.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On the resolutions, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-69. A resolution approving plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the construction of a airport runway slurry seal surface treatment improvement project for the city of Humboldt, Iowa.
Just approves plans and specs from the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater,
Aye.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher,
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Then we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-70. A resolution ordering construction of the airport runway slurry seal surface treatment improvement project in the city of Humboldt, Iowa, and directing the publication of notice to bidders.
Recognizes the city has the matching funds and that the city's taking the steps to comply with the grant program's requirements.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Slater,
Aye.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher,
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
We need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-71. A resolution approving Midas requisition number 29 for final inspections and technical services and authorizing payment in the amount of $2,485 from the CDBG Housing Rehabilitation Program.
These are more administrative costs associated with CDBG program. These costs are paid out of LMI funds. They seem to just keep trickling in, every 2 weeks. But these are final inspections. Whenever you use the HUD funds, they require a ridiculous amount of inspections. And
Are these for the 10 homes that we rehab, or
No.
which homes are these?
these, it is the 10 homes. It's
Okay.
the last two homes
last two homes,
on
okay.
that the city said that they
Okay.
would complete. So.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher,
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Goodell,
Aye.
and Slater.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-72. A resolution accepting the bid from and awarding the contract for fiscal year 2015-17 and authorizing the mayor to sign the contract for municipal insurance for fiscal years 2015-17.
It was actually here.
Larry, give us a rundown or whatever?
Yeah, are the bid packets in everybody's packet or not? I didn't bring it in.
No,
They made
No.
it.
Aaron
Made
has
it. Here's a copy.
copy.
We submitted bids, the city put out a proposal asking for bids by 2 o'clock today. And it's my understanding we submitted the only bid, which we did try with a couple other companies, city situation with comp losses and other losses kind of precludes some of the companies that might be interested in the future from bidding at this point in time. But our current carrier, I think, did a really good job of coming back in pretty flat compared to where they've been in the past. And with the IMWCA work comp renewal, will actually be less money than our renewal was last year by probably $14,000 to $15,000. I do have one question, and Gloria, on the water plant, in our inland marine quote, we quoted the builder's risk renewal. Will that be necessary?
This is two different.
Well, it's.
Last one's work comp.
Okay, this is work comp, this is our normal, so we're
Right.
talking 140,000 approximately.
They're not off the site yet, so, I mean, technically.
Yeah,
it's
well,
still-
the quote is included in our bid.
Yeah.
On the
Well,
full year's renewal, but it's $7,000 and some change.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, I think I put it in the notes with the quote, what the exact cost is, $7,806. And once we can cancel that
Yeah.
and move it, if we need to increase the property coverage for the water
Yeah.
plant, which we probably will need to do for something equivalent, that cost will be, I'm guessing, around $2,500. So there should be a good $5,000 savings there once we can kind of cut that contract off and go to the property side. So that's, I mean, as soon as that's available to us, we probably need to pull that trigger and get it switched over to the property side, and save some decent money.
During construction is the risk side, right?
Risk side is during construction, and it does pick up things like property in transit and property that's in the open, so, it looks like everything to me is fairly well, although I can't drive by it like I used to be able to, but, it looks like, you know, things are pretty far along to the point where the exposures would be pretty minimal, so.
Yeah.
I would say whenever the city's comfortable with, or the contractor, I guess, is comfortable with it, we need to go ahead and change that. Otherwise, you know, it's there, but
Right.
and we'll just prorate it until such time as we can do it.
I would say probably about maybe a month or two until they're really completely gone, just in case.
Well, I'll make note of that and
Yeah.
follow up with you from time to time so that we don't miss that opportunity, because it will save some pretty good money. Otherwise, one thing that we did have, there are a couple notes, again, as far as specifications were concerned. Our deductible on the property side was $1,000 with a 2,500 wind and hail. They're bumping that to 2,000, or excuse me, 2,500 with a 5,000 wind and hail deductible. Now, that sounds fairly significant, however, wind and hail is probably gonna affect several of our buildings in town. That'll be it'd be a one-time deductible per occurrence, not per building.
Okay.
So it does make a sizable difference. Now, if we have one building, it's gonna cost some money. But most likely, a wind and hail is probably gonna affect several buildings where we have claims, as well as it could affect vehicles and other properties. So maximum deductible will apply in that case, which would be the property deductible. And that is a deviation from specs, and that was so noted. One other thing I want to point out, I guess, is that our fire pack liability, we do have a $3 million base limit there, rather than a $1 million base limit. And that's just the fire pack. It's cheaper for us to include that limit in the fire side of things than it is to have the umbrella go over it. So that's what we chose to do in making the bid. Data breach, I think we talked about this, I don't know if the council discussed, but we did add data breach coverage. This is that somebody hacks into your computer and steals some private information. We're gonna be able to, we've got 50,000 coverage, we can't increase that. 50,000 is included to help you reconstruct, recover, rectify anything that's breached by that intrusion. So that's something new, but it's becoming quite you hear about it all the time. I don't know how much credit card access, I don't imagine you keep any of that on file anyway, but there are names and addresses probably social security numbers, things that might be breached, and we'd have to take that into consideration.
I'm guessing in most situations, it'd probably just be a situation where we've been exposed and we have to support some, identity theft. As far as law, just providing identity theft coverage and things like that, so.
The other thing I would point out on business auto coverage, physical damage portion, our fire department trucks we insure them at what's called a designated value, and we try to determine that designated value should be relatively close to what it would cost to replace that vehicle with a new one, and I'm talking a brand new one. So if we insure the value and we have a 20-year-old pumper that burns up in a fire or is wrecked or whatever the case might be, we would be able to go out, as long as we insure that to replacement value on the designated value, we would be able to go out and replace that with a new unit without, having the expense for the city. And that's, I think, especially important with some of these new trucks and the more expensive ones, because they are expensive and they get more expensive each year, so we just need to keep that up to speed. Our fire pack bid is guaranteed, the rates are guaranteed for 3 years, so other than changes brought about by equipment purchases, additions, or deletions, we would not see any increase in the fire department portion of that. I've talked about the builder's risk thing. On the employee blanket bond, called for an additional indemnity on the city clerk position of $50,000. What we did, we went through the bidding process, and it's not very expensive either way, but it was cheaper. We just increased the bond from 100 to 150 for all employees, and it does include the city clerk's position as well as management in that position. So I think it's $250 for the increased limit versus 124 before. So, and the bond was, minimum bond was gonna be like $300, so we just went this route, and I think that makes sense. Otherwise, we're pretty much right in line with anything that was in the specs or better. We do have an underlying $5 million umbrella rather than the 1 or 2 million I think the specs call for as a minimum. So we're well above that minimum. The airport liability, we did write that at $2 million versus the $1 million in the specs. Very low cost, and we have had that coverage the past couple of years, so I think it's important to maintain that level of coverage, especially in today's market. Otherwise, I think you have a good quote, and we'll do our best to make sure that things are handled when they come up. We have a few incidents that come up once in a while, so they're always interesting.
Spend a lot of time talking together.
We've, I think, pretty well managed to get through them without too much difficulty, so. Any questions that the council has?
Move to approve.
Second.
The rate for the work comp did
Oh,
go
yeah.
down.
The one
That
thing-
was, kind of a concern last year.
Yeah, our renewal bid last year initially was over $90,000, and our cost this year with a considerably higher payroll was $74,567. So that right there, about a $15,000 to $16,000 savings.
We went from a 1.62
And if we get, we lowered our mod from 162 to 148, so there's still, $25,000 there that we can recover if we should continue to improve. IMWCA is working closely with Gloria and Aaron on the loss control procedures and things like that to make sure that hopefully we can eliminate the major issues that caused the problem in the first place and get back down to a 1 or less. Also, in addition to the mod savings, IMWCA, we're currently at about a 14% discount rate. We can get all the way up to 40 if we do really well. So we can cut that work comp premium from 74 down to well below 50 with a few more good years. So let's keep working in that direction and we can save some money there.
Thank you, Larry.
Any questions?
Oh, boy.
That's not good.
Uh-oh. Doesn't sound good.
No.
That sounds like we better get the property.
Let's sign this.
This is good.
Well-
We're good till July
We have a vote in a second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, we need a roll call vote.
Yeah. Rusher,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Should we go downstairs?
Do we want to address?
Well, I think we need to adjourn for right now anyway. And all good things to do. We're back. We'll finish this up as quick as possible and get the hell out of here. We need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-73, a resolution accepting the bid from and awarding the contract to T.P. Anderson and Company, P.C. of Humboldt, Iowa, for audit services for fiscal year 2014-16, and authorizing myself to sign the contract with T.P. Anderson and Company for audit services for fiscal years 2014-16.
In line with normal costs, $200 per year increase starting at $6,500.
Move approved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Davis,
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
We need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution of 2014-74, a resolution approving plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated costs for the construction of a conventional hangar building for the city of Humboldt, Iowa.
This formally accepts plans and specs for the public hearing.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-75, a resolution ordering construction of the conventional hangar building improvement project in the city of Humboldt, Iowa, and directing publication of notice to bidders.
Just formally starts the hangar project and acknowledges the city has taken the steps to comply with the grant program.
Move approved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-76, a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an application for grant funds through the Iowa Department of Transportation, all town sign replacement program for the maintenance and replacement of regulatory and